So in this video we are going to discuss the process of testing modulation analysis in Amos. So this is the second video in the series of modulation analysis in Amos. So this is the second video where we are going to learn the steps that we follow, or the process that we follow when we are testing modulation analysis in Amos. So the first step is setting the research objectives. The first step is actually setting up the research objectives. So this is the first step. We set up the research objectives. So our research objective is to determine if mental health moderate the effect of work stress, which is our independent variable, on job performance, which is the Y variable, or the dependent variable. So the objective is to determine, does this mental health moderate the relationship between work stress and the job performance. So the next step is to determine the variables of the study, or to come up with the variables of the study. So we have three variables in this study. The first one is work stress, is our independent variable. Then we have the job performance, which is our dependent variable, and then we have mental health, which is our moderating, or the moderator variable. Then we go to the next step number 3. Step number 3 is to compute the standardized values. So we are computing the standardized values for the independent variables, the dependent variables, as well as the moderator variable. We are calculating the standardized values for the independent variable, the dependent variable, as well as for the moderator variable. The reason as to why we calculate the standardized variables is to cater for the multicollinearity. This one caters for the multicollinearity. So instead of using the actual values, we are going to be using the standardized values. So we call them the Z values. So we have the standardized value for X, that is our independent variable, the standardized values for Y, which is our dependent variable, and also the standardized values for M, which is our moderator variable. Then the next step, number 4, is to compute the interaction term. So the interaction term between the independent variable and the moderator variable. So by interaction term we mean the product of the two variables. So we take the independent variable here and we multiply by the moderator variable. So to get the interaction term, you multiply the independent variable with the moderator variable, that is X multiplied by M. So then we go to the last step number 5, which means you run the model in Amos and check the results. So we will have a model like this, whereby we have one variable which is our work stress, which is our independent variable. Then we have the mental health. Mental health is our moderator variable. Then we have the interaction term here. This is the interaction term. The interaction term is the product of work stress and mental health, is the product or the multiplication of X multiplied by M. So we run the model on Amos and try to see what is the effect of X on job performance, what is the effect of M on job performance, and what is the effect of interaction term on job performance. So our interest is this here, this interaction term. This interaction term variable is what we are interested in. So this is the one that will tell us whether we have a modulation effect or not. So it is the one that we are going to check, so that we can be able to tell, does mental health moderate the effect of stress on performance. So when we get the results, how do we interpret these results? So we are saying, if the interaction term is significant, that means the p-value is less than 0.05, then modulation effect, or the modulation exists, and vice versa. That means if the interaction term is not significant, if it is not significant, then we say there is no modulation effect. But if it is significant, then there is modulation effect. effect. So what we are saying is, if the product of x multiplied by m, which we are calling now the interaction term, is significant, then moderation exists. If not, moderation is absent. So these are the 5 steps which we follow when we are conducting the moderation analysis in Amos. So the next step, in the next video, we are going to learn how to carry out the actual analysis using the actual data. So we are going to carry out the analysis in SPSS software as well as in Amos software. So make sure you check the next video.